Hey, and just a quick reminder that the audio-only versions of these Vital MX interviews are available on the Vital MX podcast page. Search for it anywhere you get your pods and let your friends know about it. Brandon, what's going on, man?
None. How you guys doing?
Well, we're doing good. And this is one of those interviews, I'm going to tell you right now, it's awkward, man. We know what you've been through, and it's gut-wrenching, and it's hard to talk about a little bit. So how are you feeling today?
Just a lot of emotions and a lot of soreness. It's at this point, waking up every day, it's just a routine of being sore. So, it's a little bit tougher than what people think, but I mean, I guess it's part of it. We all sign up for it, but definitely have a lot of time just sitting here, every day on the couch. So mentally at times, definitely pretty tough. And then, yeah.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I mean, not only are you in a lot of physical pain and discomfort and a long road of rehab ahead of you, and that can't be fun in itself. And then just, the mental side of
today was pretty, kind of a bummer. Just, I have to get so many CT scans on like my shoulder, my back, my hip. And then out here in California is not making that easy with, not being able to get me in. And like I might possibly need shoulder surgery.
Oh, wow.
And it's just ongoing. And then we go to Pomona, California, which is where my therapy's at. And that's about 45 minutes from us without traffic.
Jeez.
And then I go there and they just we don't really get shit done today. And it's just like, you're just scratching your head like, this is miserable at times. So people don't get it. You think they just, you just heal and whatever. Like I destroyed my body, and there's consequences to that, and sounds like I might need surgery on some stuff. So more surgery. So,
well, I think I have a list of your injuries here from a social media post you made. L1, L2 end plate fractures, L3, L4 transverse process fractures, L1, L3 spinous process fractures, left hip dislocation, right rib fractures 5 through 7, right scapular fracture, and
there's actually 3 more breaks that
Jesus.
Found in my shoulder.
Wow. And then you had the
pneumothorax. People don't even know I was knocked out for like 5 minutes, man. So like, that's a long time. I'm still feeling that actually a lot, especially when I go outside. My brain is just I just feel like I'm buzzed. So
a little brain fog.
It's just the process every day of just waking up and I don't know, trying to get better.
Yeah. The mental side, is there anything, do you have, I mean, I know you have your wife, Madison, with you, but have you looked into any professional help just for the mental side? I feel like that's something that you probably you're going to want to talk to somebody. I would assume it's going to be a long.
I'm pretty stoked, and we're moving back to New Jersey, and that's where that's where I'm from. And I'm moving back with my family, and I'm so freaking happy to do that. You have no idea. Personally, I don't really, California is not, I don't really like California. So going home, I'm so freaking stoked to go home, honestly.
Yeah.
So that's going to help. That's going to help me out a lot.
Having family around and more people, I'm sure I want to get Madison on in a second. I'm sure there's so much on her shoulders, and you guys are newlyweds. I mean, it's Jesus, like
she got kind of sick from it.
I bet.
Yeah. I remember, when I first crashed, then she took a flight straight to me. And then when she saw me laying there, and I mean, I was so drugged up, but I guess I was telling her like, calm down. It's okay. 'Cause she was about to faint. So seeing me laid up, but, it's just as, it's quite tough on her, not just me. It's tough on her as well. So
yeah, it's literally life-changing.
Yeah. I got, I don't think people realize how lucky I got from not being paralyzed. Like I literally pinched my spinal cord and slid it a little bit. So people don't get it. They just think broken back, like whatever. And like, I still don't know like I still don't know everything about my spine yet. Like when they put it back together, they still it wasn't straight, and they put all this hardware in there. They fused my back. Like we still don't know anything, like the whole, like what's truly wrong. So
right. It'll be months.
Can't really give you an answer on that one.
Yeah, it could be months, maybe years before you really know the full extent.
Yeah, it's I got told never ride again. I got told I can ride in a year. It's just like I have no clue because, like I said, we still got to go to a neurosurgeon and we got to get a CT scan and then go to a neurosurgeon and then kind of go from there. And then I got to work on my shoulder and then maybe my hip. So we'll see.
Yeah, I would think, I know as a racer and somebody that loves to ride motorcycles, that is in the back of your mind, but probably putting the possibility of riding ever again, and if you could put that away, that would help. I don't know how you actually do that. But
I don't know. There's times where I'm just thinking, like, I've been riding since I was 3 years old. Yeah. So, like, outside of this life, I don't know a damn thing.
I understand. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, Brandon, so you mentioned that, you were knocked out for a few minutes, and then I'm sure, like you said, you were drugged up, and I'm sure you were in and out of surgeries and all that. What was, like, the first clear thought that you remember having?
Like, I can, like, I was knocked out, and then I'm so glad I honestly got knocked out because I didn't even feel the pain until, like, when my hip was out, my back, like, I guess my practice mechanic said I was freaking out about my hip. Then I tried getting up. Like, you got to think, I was so knocked out and concussed. Like, I don't remember anything. I don't remember the pain. I just remember getting in the hospital and then my back, like, killing me. And I was freaking out about it to give me medicine. And they couldn't give me medicine because my blood pressure was so low because I was, trauma. And that's kind of the first thing I remember. And then the second thing was her coming in and about fainting.
Yeah. How quick did she get to you? Were you already in the hospital when she got there?
I have no. She's right here. That's the question.
Well, I'll get her on here. Oh, go ahead.
So I was actually up in LA picking up one of my girlfriends that flew in from Alabama from Thanksgiving, and I got the call from Dustin that Brandon had a crash, but nobody knew how severe it was. So I was like, do I need to fly up there? And he was like, yeah, maybe. So then I immediately booked a flight out of Orange County, but I had to fly to, I want to say it was San Francisco for an hour layover. And then I flew into Fresno. So it took me about 6 hours to get there.
Jeez,
so
yeah.
By that time,
I don't remember any of that.
Well, yeah, but
I was
Madison,
getting text on the plane that Brandon had all these broken things, not just his hip or his shoulder, what we originally thought. Then I'm getting told by the surgeon that Brandon needs to go in and have back surgery. So that totally just spooked me on my flight. I just started screaming, crying.
Oh, I bet.
I was flying up there thinking, oh, it's a popped out hip. Everything's going to be fine.
Yeah, that's well, Madison, I'm going to get you on here in a second. I'm going to actually get some more of your thoughts on that. I want to get back into that. Let me,
okay.
Yeah, let me wrap up a little bit more with Brandon. But yeah, and I know you had the punctured lung and the chest tube. That's always fun. But I feel like with all your other injuries, that was probably like the least of the discomforts almost.
It's pretty weird. Like when I first got hurt, it's strictly back. And then a week and a half goes by and I'm, my hip's starting to hurt all of a sudden. And then it transferred to my ribs. And then now that I'm home, my shoulder, like, it's just weird. Like 1 week it's one thing and then the next week it's another. It's just like, everybody's like, oh, hit me up. How's your hip? And I'm like, dude, what are you guys talking about? I think it's perfectly fine. And then the next week comes by and I'm like, holy shit, my hip's bad. So yeah, it was just weird how all the injuries, like, it just took my body maybe to settle in to understand, like, you actually have other injuries. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. The trauma. I mean, it's really science. The science of how the body works. Obviously, we don't know. It's
just weird.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, my shoulder. I'm like, oh, dude, who gives a shit about my shoulder? That's the weakest injury. And then
right
now that I'm like, my body's coherent on all these other injuries, my shoulder, like, if I move it in a weird spot, it feels like it's going to snap. It's like, and it's no exaggeration. Like it hurts like hell if I move it wrong. So it's just weird how the body works, like you were saying.
Yeah. And going back to I was asking about the chest tube a little bit. I've had a couple punctured lungs and chest tubes. I assume you were either out or
I was
pretty
out.
Doped up when they
I'm
put that in.
glad I was out.
Yeah.
looking at this scar, I'm like, holy, it looked like I got shanked.
Right. Yeah. I've got one on each side, and I was unconscious for the first one. The second one, I didn't think I had a collapsed lung. I literally thought I had broke my elbow. And I was
Your
just
elbow?
yeah, well, I thought it was my elbow, and I was like, yeah, I'm struggling to breathe a little bit. And they did X-rays, and they came in and they said, no, your clavicle and your scapula is broke. And I was like, no, dude, look, I'm moving my arm all over. I'm good. It's just my elbow. And he goes, no, it's your collarbone, and you also have a pneumothorax. I was like, well, what does that mean? Well, you have a collapsed lung. So they literally numbed me right there and cut me open and shoved that thing through the ribs. And it was.
Were you awake for it?
I was awake, but I was numbed. So it didn't really hurt.
That's scary as hell.
It didn't really hurt weird. Like I thought it would, but it was the awkwardest feeling when that piece of plastic or whatever goes through your ribs.
I bet. I'm glad I was sleeping for it.
Yeah, well, you had to deal with a whole lot worse. So, I mean, that would, anyway. Talk about
that's funny because I remember, did you have to do this? Did you use that little toy to breathe?
Yes, where you have to keep it at a certain level until they.
You had to keep it in the smiley face or something. So
yes,
the lady's like, they're like so like urgent to rip the tube out, and I'm like, all right, like this is gonna hurt like a motherfucker. God knows, like I'm like the tube's blood red, so I'm like,
yeah,
all right. And the lady's like, I want you to inhale and then exhale, and I'm gonna pull on it. And I'm thinking like she's just gonna do like little by little.
No.
And as soon as I exhaled, she ripped the whole thing out, and I was just like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember the first one coming out. That was back in like 94 or 5, and I don't remember it all. The second one, I remember it coming out because it was infected. They didn't clean it.
Oh, God.
And I didn't know that they were supposed to change the bandages, but they never changed the bandage. So I just figured, well, they know what they're doing. And it was disgusting. When it came out. Like my girlfriend at the time was filming it. She's like, oh, this is not good. It was really disgusting. But anyway, talk about the industry, man. The people reaching out, Road to Recovery. They hooked you up with some help with the airplane, which I think probably made the process better.
Oh my God, that made life so much easier. It was either a 6-hour ambulance ride or that. And I literally, when we hopped in the ambulance, well, I didn't hop in it, but they put me on a stretch. The whole thing like carted me to it, and we drove from the hospital to the airport. That was like 10-minute drive, and I'm like, dude, there's no way I could have done
4 hours,
6 hours. So Road to Recovery has absolutely crushed it. And for like Mike Young is truly a gentleman, so I can't thank that dude enough. And the whole industry, it's crazy, and to me it's a little mind-blowing how everybody's been so awesome towards me and really, really trying to help. I've never seen anything like it. So it's pretty tough because like as a moto guy that's pro, like you don't want to really pay attention to somebody that gets hurt, and the Road to Recovery people are way crucial than what people think when they get hurt. So those people are doing an awesome job.
Yeah, it's really cool to see all that, and I was really happy that you were able to get that help from those guys. And of course, this industry,
even like Ethica, I can't believe Ethica stepped in to do that for me. For me to have, like, honest to God, everybody's like, that's so awesome to have, them to do that for you. And I'm like, dude, for me to be on my own underwear, I'm like mind blown right now.
Dude, I'm so mad. I didn't see the advertisement until they were gone. I was so mad because I am definitely an Ethica guy.
Oh, it's so badass what they did. And then same with SKDA. One of my buddies from home is named Corey McFadden, used to help me racing, and then Dirt Bike Depot and the custom outfits guys. Like I literally like he's raffling off that trailer, but I want that trailer. That thing is so sick.
Well, that'd be cool. Maybe somebody will buy it and then they'll give it to you like that.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just crazy. I just can't believe how much people are stepping up for me. It's I can't even. I want to like help and like give back, but they don't want me to, and it's just like I don't even know what to do.
Dude, you just need to worry about yourself. Yeah. You've always been one of those guys, man, that I love in the pits, and like you always have time for us and give back in that way. Mm-hmm. So I respect that you want to do something like that, but yeah, that needs to be not your concern right now. Take care of yourself. I am mad that I missed out on the boxers though, because I would definitely. It'd be weird having you on my junk, but I'd wear them.
Hey, you know how many people have literally like, oh, my dick's gonna be by your head. And I'm like, I'm gonna be like, well, if your dick even reaches, bud.
Right. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, see, that's good that you still have a little bit of sense of humor. You could very easily be in a very dark place right now, and again, long recovery coming. But I think you're a guy that has. You seem to be very strong mentally, and it's good to hear you laughing, man. I love that.
Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, I agree. I definitely could be making this a lot worse, but being home in my I got let out early before Christmas because I was supposed to get discharged the 28th. They let me out like a few days before Christmas, and that helped a lot just to be home and kind of get out of that place. I called it like you're like a rat lab, kind of like in the rehab center. They literally just pump you with meds, and you just sit there and just you're kind of depressed. So was stoked to get home early, and then my parents and wife and family have been truly helped me so much, just trying to make sure I'm okay, and then just trying to get me home. And we gotta pack a house up and move back home, which is going to be tough. But everybody, from Madison's family to my family, they're all working together to get us home. So
great to hear.
Yeah, it's like I said, there's been so many great people helping us, and a lot of good people in my corner. Just
it really is a good industry. It really is a very good industry. It's tight knit. You can say what you want. There's haters and there's these issues here and there, and there's some a-holes, but in the end, everybody cares.
Yeah, it's literally like I haven't even ever I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. We've seen it happen in our sport so many times where pills become a problem when in that recovery, but you have so much going on that it's literally
your
impossible.
Body eventually needs it.
Yeah, you're going to have to have it at this point. But do you kind of have like a plan or a mindset of where you want to be at a certain time with that kind of medicine and stuff?
I crushed my insides, and which caused me to not being able to pee or poop. And like right now I'm taking so many medications for me to literally drop a turd. It's I don't know, man, it's miserable at times, and I'm taking so many medications for it. And I honestly have leaned off the pain pills a lot. I take one at night. They're oxys, which I didn't realize they actually helped as much as they did. But I think that oxy, if I eventually stop taking that stuff, I'll be able to poop better. But
yep.
Yeah, I've been taking we counted at the nurse, they were giving me 13 pills 3 times a day. So my body's just going through a freaking loop right now. So I've been pretty good about it. My dad's freaking gnarly about pills, so he will for sure. If I ever somehow get in that position, my dad will probably snap me out of it.
Right. Yeah, I was going to ask you, I know with all the internal stuff and the trauma to the body that it does start to shut down certain areas, like you said, bathroom issues, whatever. And it's there's things that are going to take time, and you have to hope that it all figures itself out.
Yeah, it's so miserable dealing with this stomach stuff. My stomach will be absolutely killing me. I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm gonna literally just have diarrhea, and then I go and try and poop, and nothing comes out, and it's just and it's an everyday process for the last month. It's been even peeing was so bad there for a bit, but I got that down, kind of figured out, and then pooping just has its own mind of its own, is what it seems like.
Are you having to use a catheter?
So, at first, when I was in the ICU, they had a catheter for about a week. They took it off, could not pee at all. So then they put it back in. We transported to the Casa Colina rehab center, and then I could not pee still. And then I had, doctors and nurses putting catheter in and out of me, and then I had Madison. At this one point, I hit this button for the nurse to come do it, and they took too long, and I'm like, what, screw it. This is hurting way too much. So I said, Madison, you're doing it. She did it. I mean, it's pretty freaking easy, but we cathetered myself maybe 20 times.
Oof.
And honestly, maybe because I was on some pills, but once you get the hang of it, it's not, I mean, it's pretty bad, but it's not too bad. Once you get past, so when the catheter goes in, it's whatever. And then once it hits this spot, it starts burning real bad.
Ugh.
And once you push through that, then you start peeing.
Dude.
So I just told myself every time, once you hit that spot, just push through it, and then you're fine. And then pulling out, pretty freaky, but it don't hurt.
I think I'd rather have a chest tube.
I mean, to be honest, like watching this freaking thing go down your pee hole, it's like,
yeah.
I told myself while I was racing, I'm like, listen, I will never have a catheter. I will never do any of this stuff. And then turns out I freaking do it all in one
time.
Shabam.
Damn, dude. Oh, well, dude, let me talk to Madison for a minute.
Oh, she's right here.
All right.
All right, I'm on here.
Well, Madison, I can't even imagine as a new wife. First of all, congratulations, Madison Hartranft.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just can't even imagine what's going through your mind. I mean, you had to be terrified. I'm sure similar to probably what his mom and dad were worried about, and being so far away, you feel helpless.
Yeah, I mean, you sit there and you see him so defenseless. Like, that's all he's known his whole life. And ever since we've been together, I used to race too. So I get like when it's in your blood, it's in your blood. But to see it just ripped away from him so fast. But he's like so strong about it. So it definitely helps whenever he's got like a good attitude. And we have so many good people in our corner checking on us, asking if we need anything. How can I help? So at the end of the day, there's no doubt in my mind that if he does not come back racing, he's going to be good at whatever he does.
Yeah, I love that you have that support of him like that. That's beautiful to hear. And I can't imagine what you're going through. Like I said, and he talked about the bathroom issues. I'm sure you're having to help, which, really nobody wants to have to do that.
I mean, the first like 3 weeks I had to wipe Brandon's butt. I mean, and he is so weird about that kind of stuff. Like,
who is it?
He's got stage fright when he goes pee. Like, you can't even be in the same room as him. Even if the door's shut, he don't want you in there.
That's
so
funny.
It's like so crazy how life can change at the drop of a hat. I mean, he was like, "You're going too far right, wiping my butt. You're going too far left." I know this is funny to talk about, but you got to find
that's good.
the good and the bad of every situation. But it's just crazy how life just changes so fast. And I was wiping his butt for like 3 weeks and cathering him myself. So it's definitely a crazy way to break in a marriage. I mean, everybody keeps saying, if you can get through this, you can get through anything.
That's what I was about to say. I mean, you guys have been together. I feel like I've been doing this stuff for maybe 5 years. I feel like you guys have been together at least that long, right?
We're going on 8 years together.
Okay. So you stuck through some hard times anyway, but this is definitely a hell of a test. And I have to just tell you how impressed I am.
Also, like the brain injury that he's dealing with, he's going to speech. I mean, he's learning, like he's forgetful of things. And that's also been another hard spot and his family can tell you the same thing, is he gets so uptight and snaps like so fast and then says, hurtful things. And then 5 minutes later, he's sad because he didn't mean to say it, but it just happens. And I mean, obviously I know what I'm dealing with because I've spoke to all the doctors and they basically told me like, you're going to deal with this. And this is something that'll heal itself, but with time.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of mental stuff that, not only with his injuries, but you're dealing with the other side of things too, of the brain injury.
Yeah.
And
the whole body has been shocked and gone through trauma. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, our world is literally turned upside down to say the least.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to be in this position. I mean, I thought Brandon was going racing A1. We were excited and thought this was going to be his best year yet. He was coming home from Fresno. He was going up there and riding a few days a week with Dustin. They've got like a whole new setup, and he would come home telling me how great he's doing. And
that's what I was hearing.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I was hearing how good he was looking. So it's crazy what life puts in front of you.
In the end of the day, I think everything happens for a reason. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to keep living by that. And I know we'll be good no matter what happens with his career down the road.
Of course.
Yeah, Madison, that was one of the points that I was going to make to you guys. It wasn't even really going to be a question. Just, 15, 20 years from now, you'll look at this and that'll be we got through that. So, and so like you said, everything happens for a reason, and you're going to grow from it, and it's tough now, but it shows you who really cares about you on the, around the support, and, it kind of puts everything in perspective. And like I said, 15 years down the road, you'll almost look at it as kind of almost like not necessarily a blessing, but it'll be like, well, we did that, so we can make it through anything.
Exactly. No, I definitely think it's going to bring us closer together as a couple. Not that we weren't already, but I already feel like it's bringing us closer together. And like I said, I think he'll come back stronger.
Yeah. Madison, is there anything, I know Road to Recovery and the industry is trying to help out, or is there anything that you need help with, anything you guys can use that people need to know about?
Not that I know. Like most of our friends in California, we have a pretty good group around us. They're all stepping up, like wanting to come help our house pack it all up, because obviously the movers will come in and move the big stuff, but just keep us in your prayers.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hate this, but I have to say, that if I'm looking at a positive, not that there's really a positive, it is that, like, seeing that what you're doing to help your husband, and the not everybody would stand by. Like, I think a weaker relationship, they'd be like, oh, I can't deal with this. Right. And
1000%.
Yeah. So
I've watched girls in this industry walk away, not with necessarily this type of injury, but with just even a small injury.
Sure. So I have to say it's very, because I'll be honest, that was one of the first things I thought. I was like, wow, they just got married. Madison probably wasn't prepared for this,
and not only remember Brandon just had ankle surgery, and I didn't even think he was going to be able to walk down the aisle at our wedding.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
So, I mean, the last few months have been like a whirlwind, and then we get married. We had a beautiful wedding. We had a huge turnout, like more than we would expect. And then we went on a beautiful honeymoon to another island in Hawaii. And I'm just so thankful we at least got through that, because we were literally talking. We were walking into Casa Colina today for his therapy. I'm like, thank God we already got married. He was like, yeah, or there wouldn't have been a wedding.
No kidding. Well, I'm very impressed with you, Madison, and I think it's really a beautiful thing considering the circumstances. So,
yeah, thank you guys so much for checking in, and
of course,
keeping us in your prayers, and maybe we'll see you guys back on the track or around the track someday soon.
We'll definitely see you around at some point. I believe he'll be back at the races. Even if he doesn't get to race again, he's going to be around. I fully believe that. But let me holler at Brandon again for just a moment. Madison's really great talking to you, and I wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Hey, Brandon, before I let you go, you were in the Fly Formula helmet. How
that thing? I mean, that thing did its job. I mean, at least I think I did. I think that helmet was so good. I was actually gonna say something because you were like, "Oh, Fly Racing something." When I was about to get on, and
they're sponsoring
the Fly helmet that thing's good. I mean, when I put that helmet on, compared to our other helmet, I was like, dude, this thing is the real deal. Like, it suctions to my head. It's like very, very strong, I feel like. And then it's got like these cushiony things to absorb your impact. And yeah, I thought it was legit.
Yeah, those are called rayon, I believe is what they call that.
Whatever that blue thing was.
That's the rayon stuff. Yeah, or rayon. But yeah, I'm literally looking at 5 of them in front of me. That's what I wear. Well, I'm actually wearing the 6D also now, because they are going to be a sponsor of the show next year. And I trust that helmet.
Those are good helmets too.
Yeah, I trust the Formula and the 6D over any other helmet. And yeah, I'm glad that you had that on your head. I know what you were wearing before. We won't have to bring it up, but
I'm not gonna bring it up. But God knows, man.
Yeah,
if I was in that, I don't like. If I was in the other helmet, don't know what the case would be. So, I crushed the Fly helmet. Like I smashed the shit out of it. So it did its job, I'd say. I didn't really think about it, but I also didn't really care. Like, I posted it, and I didn't know if Fly got mad, but like, I feel like I had every right to post whatever.
Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't think so. It did its job, and that's the same helmet.
No, and I didn't put that in there like, oh, like the thing for, thank God we were in a Fly. But
right.
I mean, if people took that the wrong way, they should, because that helmet was honestly like first time I put it on, I was like, this thing's good. So,
oh yeah, it's the same helmet that Weston was wearing when he had his issue in Paris. Which, I mean, his face got destroyed, but had he been anything else, who knows, right?
Yeah, I mean, he got so freaking. That was a shitty deal, because the rear wheel landed where his goggles were, right?
Something. I thought it was the frame, but he basically, his head got crushed.
I don't really know the story. That was bad, man. Too. Jesus.
Yeah,
dirt bikes, man.
Yes, right. Yeah, it's a scary thing we do out of our passion to go. But man, Brandon, I I can't tell you how happy I am to hear you in good spirits, you know, and I'm sure you're going to have some moments where you're down, but I love hearing that you are up right now and that your friends and everybody, your family are surrounding you with the love and the compassion they need. And, man, if you ever need anything that we can help with, I'd love to help out. You know, I'm a big fan of yours. I've always enjoyed talking to you, and I just
I'll never forget when I did that interview for the top 8. You asked me a question. So
SLC Salt Lake City was that last year?
Because that's a moment of my life that I will just being up there with them guys, and you know, obviously, you asked me a question, so I'll never forget what the question was and stuff like that. So I appreciate you being a supporter.
Yeah, man, I like you, dude. You're a good person, and that's it's funny when I get done with these interviews. I always my co-host here, Scotty, I goes, man, he's a good dude, and that's what I always take away from certain people is just I don't care how good you are on a motorcycle. Really, I care about how you treat me when I was new in the industry, and you always made time for me and talked to me, and like I said, you're a good dude, man.
Man, there's some, you know how it is. There's some very good motorcycle guys, like guys on bikes that do not have good personalities. I'll tell you that right now.
That is true, and you're not one of those. And I cannot wait to see you fully recovered. And like I said, even if you're not back on a motorcycle competitively, I want to see you back at the races, and I can't wait to interview you in person.
There's a race this year at MetLife, and that's literally 50 minutes from my house. So I might need to come and obviously watch and hang out for a bit.
Yeah, dude, let's make that a goal. I don't think that's one that's on my schedule, but if you make it to that race, I'll make Michael Lindsay send me.
All right.
So let's make that a goal.
That's a deal.
I look forward to seeing posts and social media stuff saying that you're doing better and better and better, man. I can't wait.
Well, appreciate it. Thank you guys for always looking out for me.
You got it, Brandon. Tell Madison thank you, and we're sending our love.
I appreciate it. Good talking to y'all.
You too, buddy. See ya.